Hi guys, welcome to Maggie's Journey. Today we're making okra with red palm oil and FuFu. These are the ingredients you're going to need. Full list in the description box below. Before we start, please make sure that you wash your okra, rinse that in a bit of water, and once it's thoroughly cleaned, put that in a separate container, and then of course we have to cut them up. Once you have cut up all of your okra, it should look something like this. Then you want to wash your chicken first, and of course hit it with that Aromat seasoning. You can't go wrong with Aromat. Now you want to add some of that Dunn's River chicken seasoning. Again, if you know, you know. Slap that on the chicken, give it a good little massage, and then cling film that, ideally overnight or for at least 4 hours before you start cooking. Now that your chicken is marinated to the bone, you want to grab your trusted Ninja air fryer. Before you place the chicken in, just spray a couple sprays of Fry Light, and then you place your chicken in. Cook each side at 180 degrees for 20 minutes. Alternatively, you could also just fry your chicken in the pan with some oil. Choice is completely yours. This is what it looks like once the chicken's been cooking for about 20 minutes. And this is what it should look like once it's completely cooked. Next, you'll need to get your smoked or dried fish, and you're going to pull it apart to remove all of the bones and just separate the fish into large chunky pieces. Please make sure that you do pick all of the bones because it would be very unpleasant to choke on it. And also, I'll be using barracuda fish that's been smoked. Similarly to the pepper soup video, you're going to want to blend your onions, your garlic, and your pepper. I'm using Scotch Bonnets, about 5 pieces. Please use whichever pepper you prefer. I like my okra with a bit of a kick. Once all the ingredients have been added to the blender, you want to take about a 1/4 cup of water and empty that into the blender, pop the lid on it and blend. This mixture will be the base of the okra and it's very crucial for the next step. In a clean and empty pot, you want to empty the fish that you had pulled apart earlier. What you could do is pour a bit of water into that same container and just empty that water into the pot. And then you want to add your pepper mixture that you've just blended along with all of the bouillon cubes. I like to fill the blender up with some water, shake it out to get all of the ingredients that was left in there, and then pour that in as well. You want to make sure that your pot is on medium heat. Now you just want to give this a quick stir just to combine all the ingredients in the pot. It should look something like this once it's been cooking for about 10 minutes. Now you want to add your red palm oil into that same pot. In the bowl with the okra, you want to add baking soda, about 1/4 of a tablespoon or about a teaspoon amount of baking soda. This is important because it does help the okra pull and become more slippery. But what you don't want to do is add too much baking soda, otherwise when you cook it, it goes black and bitter. Now you can add your okra to the pot with all the other ingredients and stir together well. Now you want to add the pieces of chicken that you either air fried or fried earlier and mix together everything that's in the pot. At this point, your okra soup should almost be ready and will need to cook for another 15 minutes or until the white seeds in the okra has turned pink and the okra itself is nice and soft. Now we're going to make the FuFu. You want to have a container with a strainer, the FuFu in a separate container, and a bowl or a pot filled with water. And what you're going to do is just pour that water over the FuFu. And once you've poured in the water, you want to break up all the lumps so you have a nice and smooth consistency. Now you'll need to strain the FuFu and feel free to add additional water to the mixture, but you just want to strain it out to remove all the large lumps and pieces. This is a crucial step when making FuFu for a nice and smooth consistency once it's cooked. Now that you have strained your FuFu, it should look something like this. You want to let that sit for about 10 minutes, and once it's been sat for about 10 minutes, pour the excess liquid over it into a separate container. This can get a bit messy if you don't have steady hands, but essentially what you're left with in the container that you're holding is the FuFu that you're now going to cook. And what you want to do is put that into a clean, empty pot. You just want to pour that in. Now you need to grab a headband and roll up your sleeves because here comes the mixing. While it's still in a liquid form, you want to just keep mixing it. And then once it starts to cook, you want to mix it in one direction against a side of the pot. And just keep mixing until the FuFu is completely cooked and you no longer have any white bits and it's more or less like almost see-through. To make it easier, what you could do is grab a spoon to scrape off the excess FuFu that's on the wooden spoon and just get back to mixing. Once you get to this part, what you could do is add about 1/4 cup of water, and that's just to steam the FuFu to prevent it from burning. And then you just carry on mixing and incorporating that water into the FuFu until it's completely cooked. Your FuFu should look something like this once it's completely cooked through. Now for my favourite part, which is dishing, plating up, and of course enjoying. I thoroughly enjoy this recipe and I hope you did too. Please subscribe and let me know in the comments how it went for you. Have a great day.